Dante, and today it's time for top 20 best cards in Antiquities, and that will be the final stream of final podcast of exploring old school MTG, which part of the series was like top 20 best cards in Alpha, Beta, Unlimited Revised, top 20 best cards in Arabian Nights, and now in Antiquities. But between Arabian Nights and this podcast, there's 4 World of Spark spoilers podcasts, and now since it's already pre-released, then we just don't need to do World of Spark spoiler podcast. So yeah, but soon there's gonna be Modern Horizons spoilers, and yeah. So let's start off with number 20. We got Armageddon Clock. Wait, what in the world is Armageddon? Well, Armageddon Clock is a 6 mana artifact. Put one doom counter on Armageddon Clock during each of your upkeeps. At the end of your upkeep, Armageddon Clock deals damage to each player equal to the number of counters on Armageddon Clock. Any player may pay. You can pay 4 mana to remove an doom counter from Armageddon Clock, but any player may activate it. So if you're in an emergency, you can just remove it yourself. Remove counters yourself, but you just have to pay 4 for each count. For each counter, like you have to pay to remove 4 mana to remove a counter, and yeah. But your opponents might be wanting to remove doom counters from Armageddon Clock. But the less damage it deals, the less damage it deals to you, the less damage it deals to your opponent. And yeah, in reverse as well. Like, if it can accelerate, then it can deal more damage. If you can somehow give it lifelink in some way, say for example Sidri, or just animate artifacts, then just Spirit Link or Vampiric Link it, then you are fine. Like you don't take damage from Armageddon Clock, and when your opponent takes damage from Armageddon Clock, you gain life. You can somehow give it lifelink, yeah. Which is hard, but yeah, it can happen. Next one we got Atog. So 1/1 red, 1/2 Atog. You can sacrifice an artifact to give +2/+2 until end of turn. It was the original artifact sack outlet. Like, most sack outlets are creatures, and not all of them are for free. There were some that are for free, but it's one of the few artifact sack outlets. Like, Krogland Ironworks was also an artifact sack outlet. Like, it was basically an Ashnod's altar, but for artifacts at a slightly more expensive price. And it got banned in Modern. Like the latest banned card was Krogland Ironworks in Modern. Yep, that's right. They actually banned it. It was such a powerful combo deck. Like, yeah. It's actually kind of good. Like there's different Atog was the original Atog, and somehow got reprinted and eroded. But yeah, Atog was simply a sack outlet for artifacts. Like, you don't usually see artifact sack outlets, but then there were more Atogs, like Oratog and Megatog, or Atogatog, or Chronotog. Yeah, Chronotog was actually a thing. Or what other Atog? Psychotog, yeah. There's so many different Atogs. And Atog was the original Atog. And yeah, Antiquities was basically the second ever expansions in in MTG. Like, the first ever Dominaria expansion, like, there were some sort of Dominaria cards in Alpha, Beta, and Unlimited, like, classes of Urza or Banana Shiro. Yeah, that was actually true. There were some sort of Alpha Dominaria cards, but then the Dominaria story got introduced in Antiquities. Yeah, and you might be thinking that's Llanowar Elves' original set. No, it's not. Llanowar Elves isn't even in Antiquities. Like, Llanowar Elves came right after, I think. But yeah, like the free, revised edition was basically Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, Arabian Nights, and Antiquities. Like, the least powerful cards are put in revised, and they have a revised text. Like destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated was actually a thing, but then it turned into bury for some reason. Why bury? Like bury used to be like destroy can't be regenerated, or sacrifice. Yeah, sacrifice wasn't a real mechanic, like, until now. Now, after that, we got Feldon's Cane. Feldon's Cane is actually a 1-mana artifact. Yeah, with tap, shuffle your graveyard into your library, then exile it. Exile Feldon's Cane. Like you can easily recover your library. Like, if it gets milled, Feldon's Cane. Now it's saved, and it's for only 1 mana. It can actually be some sort of reverse Sentinel totem that doesn't even scry for some reason. Like if your graveyard gets out for some reason, like, sometimes it's played in graveyard decks just in case if it will get milled out, or their graveyard will somehow be exiled. Like if someone would just crack a Relic of Progenitors or Tormod's Crypt your graveyard, in response, crack the Feldon's Cane. You just break the Feldon's Cane to just shuffle your graveyard into your library and exile Feldon's Cane. But with the new Karn, the Great Creator, you can actually loop Feldon's Cane over and over again. The new War of the Spark Karn, you can actually loop Feldon's Cane. Like, after you crack it, it gets exiled. Well, Karn can retrieve it with its -2 effect. Yeah, that's the new power of War of the Spark. That's right, War of the Spark power in Antiquities. Well, yeah, Feldon's Cane was reprinted, of course. Like, I think it was a Time Spiral time shifted as well. Like, I think it was time shifted in Time Spiral. But yeah, Feldon's Cane is actually a good card, and now made much better with Karn the Great Creator. Yeah, that's right. After that, we got Hurkyl's Recall. Like, it's 1 and 1 blue instant. Return all artifacts target player owns to their hand. Yeah, it's very good. Like, well, don't ignore the final part. Like, you can actually now play it in the combat damage step. Like, it used to say cannot be cast during the combat damage step. Well, it can actually now. Like, even Unsummon used to say that. Now it doesn't. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, it is actually a good card, like, for Cheerios, but it can also stop artifact decks, because you don't have to bounce your own artifacts. You can bounce the opponent's artifacts. Like, if you play a Commander Cheerios deck, you could use Hurkyl's Recall, but you could actually also use it on an opponent that's playing, say, for example, Daretti or Wrath Capuchin. Yeah, Wrath Capuchin and Daretti decks are just too powerful. So Hurkyl's recall could just stop that. I haven't even checked if it's commander legal. I suppose it is commander legal. But yeah, after that we got Mistress Factory. Yeah. Mistress Factory. It can tap to add 1 mana, and for 1 mana it becomes a 2/2 assembly worker, the original assembly worker. Yeah. Assembly worker isn't the original assembly worker. Assembly worker was just in Time Spiral as a reference to Mistress Factory. And Ursa's Factory was also a reference to Mistress Factory and the Ursa Tron. Yeah. So yeah, it's a and it also becomes an artifact if you use Mistress Factory. It's like the original Blink Moth Nexus. Yeah, that's right. And it's still a land, but it can also tap. Target assembly worker gets +1/+1 on turn of turn. So yeah, it can be used as assembly worker tribal, but like the tap effect can be used better than Blink Moth Nexus. Like to give a blink moth +1/+1, you also have to pay 1 mana. I think it was. I have a blink moth Nexus. Like I opened 1 dark steel pack and I got blink moth Nexus. Yeah, it was actually below pack value for some reason. I don't know, but yeah, Mistress Factory. It was actually one of in the early expansions of MTG, there were actually cards that had different arts in the same set, like Mistress Factory there, Mistress Factory there, Mistress Factory there, and Mistress Factory there. Like, do you notice the difference? Like, I think that's Mistress Factory in winter. That's the one in autumn. That's the one in summer, I think, or spring. No, that's the one in summer, and that's the one in spring. That's the one in autumn, and that's the one in winter. That's what I just recently realized. I never actually realized until now that it was actually one for each of the seasons. And yeah, it's not like you might be thinking only Unstable had different art and text variants for the cards. Well, the early expansions had different art variants, and sometimes even different flavor text variants, but no different text variants. Like, that's only silver bordered. Number 15, we got Drafna's Restoration. It's a 1 blue sorcery. Put any number of artifacts target player owns on top of their library in any order. Wow, that is actually such a good card because, well, yeah, you can actually recover all of your artifacts after a board wipe. You can just put them on top, and you can assure you're not going to draw lands if you don't need lands. Or if an opponent's mana screw and they're forced to discard artifacts, oh look, Drafna's Restoration, bring them to the top. You will not get lands in many turns. And there you go. You've successfully stopped an opponent from getting land for lots of turns. Yeah, that's actually a real trick. It's actually kind of smart, that trick. Yeah. After that we got Circle of Protection Artefact. Yeah, it's so good. It protects you from a Blightsteel swing. Like if a Blightsteel Colossus will swing at you, you're like, no, that's the end. Well, Circle of Protection Artefact can actually stop artifacts from dealing damage to you. It's a 1 white enchantment. For 2 mana, you can prevent all damage that will be dealt to you by an artifact source. Not artifact creature, even artifact source, like say for example rocket launcher. Yeah, rocket launcher. It actually stops rocket launcher. Like there's gonna be infinite mana combos with rocket launcher. Then you're actually safe if you have a circle protection artifact. Like you don't have to pay 2 mana every time. From the I think, yeah. Like no, I think you have to pay 2 mana every time. I'm not sure exactly on the same artifact, but what I know for sure is that it stops all the damage from a source, but you have to pay 2 mana for each artifact you want to stop the damage from. I'm not sure if it has to keep on stopping the damage from the same artifact multiple times. Like, I'm not sure exactly, but it's actually a very good card. But there are better cards in this set. After that, we go Detonate. Detonate is actually a 2-for-1. You can actually shatter something. Yeah, it's a sorcerer speeder. It can't be regenerated, and well, if it's converted mana cost is X or less, well, it can also deal that much damage. That much damage is dealt to its and also Detonate deals X damage to its controller. Very good. It's a 2-for-1 deal. Like well, then you do also like destroying artifacts and hitting your opponent at the same time. Say for example, your opponent has a Mycosynth Lattice and your opponent might combo off if like you know they're gonna cast a Darksteel Forge next turn, but you just don't want the combo to happen. So you can just detonate, pay 7 mana, destroy Mycosynth Lattice, and deal 6 damage to the controller. You can deal so much damage. You can pay more than the mana cost of the card, and if you do that, you deal more damage to the opponent. That's right, extra damage. It's a great combo with infinite mana, because if you infinite mana, then you can destroy the controller of an artifact. Yeah, that's right. As well as destroying as well as smashing the artifact, you smash its controller. Well, it doesn't really matter. After that, we go Argivian Archaeologist. It's actually a good card. So 1 and 2 white, 1 mana, 1/1. I said, yeah. In this set, it's actually a good card, but very good card. But the thing is that there's many cards today that actually outclasses that card. Also, in the first 10 years of MTG, I think, like in the original Legacy sets, there was actually one card that could have been better. Like, oh yeah, it's 2 white and tap to return to an artifact from your graveyard to your hand. Like a few years later in Invasion, there's actually a card called Hannah, Ship's Navigator, which is a 1 blue, 1 white legendary creature, human artificer. 1/2 actually, yeah. And for 1 blue, 1 white, tap, return target artifact or enchantment from your graveyard to hand. Well, yeah, it's 1 extra mana, and you have to do blue-white, not just white. And you can bring back enchantments as well as artifacts. Well, its toughness has been extended to 2. Also, it replaces 1 white for 1 blue, but it becomes legendary. But legendary might not be a disadvantage. Like, it can be a commander, of course, but yeah. Number 11, we got the Rack. Yep, the Rack. Might be thinking, wasn't Blackface also in the same set? No, Blackface was originally from Alpha. The Rack came later. Yeah, That's right, the rack actually came later. Ivory Tower came in Antiquities. But the rack was actually basically there with the same stuffy doll as the Black Vice, and also Cursed Rack was there in the same set. But yeah, it's an artifact at the beginning of each as it enters the outfield. Choose an opponent. The beginning of that player's upkeep, the rack deals 1 damage to that player. For each card fewer than 3. Basically deals 3 damage to that player minus the amount of cards in their hand. Like, I was actually reading the text from there when instead of just telling it in my own words, which was weird. I don't know. Yeah. Cursed Rack makes it easier for you to deal damage to your opponent with the rack, but if you have Cursed Rack on the opponent, if you have Cursed Rack, well, if they have 3 or 4 cards in their hand, they are still immune to the rack, but they just can't have more cards. If they have 2 cards, then it's already 1 damage. 1 card, 2. 0 cards, 3. That's right. It's so good. After that, we got Ashnod's Altar. Ashnod's Altar is actually a very good sack outer. It's like 3 mana artifact with sacrifice a creature to add 2 mana. Yeah, that's right. You just sacrifice your creatures very easily. Hola, Luciana, ¿cómo estás? So yeah, you can just sacrifice your creatures to just get 2 mana. Like, you play it in graveyard recursion decks or in token decks. Like it would be good in a Locust God deck that you could actually, if you can somehow draw lots of cards for 3 mana, and you can somehow have for 4 mana, and you can somehow have 3 mana left over, 3 blue mana left over to cast Omniscience on turn 7. Like, you can just use the Locust God and then turn 7 just cast Omniscience. If you can just somehow Wheel of Fortune, which is a very expensive card, or Windfall, you could actually draw 7 cards very easily for less than 4 mana, and then if you can assure that you're gonna draw into Omniscience, you could actually try scrying, or just searching your life, or somehow steal an opponent's tutor to put Omniscience on top of your library, which is actually kind of hard. Like, you have to have a Mind's Dilation, and Mind's Dilation is a turn 7 card as well. But yeah, you could be lucky as well, I guess. And you draw into Omniscience, and then you just you get 7 insects. Well, actually, when you draw, Ristic Tutor, if you can Ristic Tutor on turn 3, then you can actually start drawing lots of cards in your opponent's turn. So you're getting insects, start of your turn, you get another insect, and you can just use Ashnod's Altar. You can sacrifice 4 insects, actually. Oh, you just need 4 insects to get 8 mana, and that's actually more than enough to get Omniscience on turn 7. Yeah. It's actually a very good card, Ashnod's Altar. You can get so much easy mana with Ashnod's Altar, and you don't really care. Like if something would down all your creatures, you don't care. Sack them to the graveyard, and you get lots of mana, and you can still use them if they are in the graveyard. Also, Altar of Dementia came later. And yeah, it's actually such a good card. Phyrexian Altar came later. Yeah. And yeah. Not just that, but the thing is that it's a great combo with Living Death or Living End. Like, you know, there's this Living Death, like some sort of like Living Death-ish card, but for artifacts. It actually makes a great combo with Atog. Just saying. But yeah, let's just move on to number 9. Which is Ornithopter. Yep, Ornithopter was originally from Antiquities. It's a 0 mana 0/2 artifact creature with flying. Yep, that's right. It's an artifact creature with flying. That's right, fly. 0 mana. The original 0 mana cost spell. Like, a Phyrexian Walker came much later. Like, the Phyrexian stuff just came in Invasion and yeah, in Invasion, and also in Alliances. There's actually the art of a card in which there's a book and there's a Phyrexian symbol. Yeah, that's right. Like Latnam's Legacy, I think it was called. Yeah. The next card is number 8 is Shatterstorm. Yeah, in this set there's lots of artifacts and artifact help, but at the cost of artifact hate. Yeah, that's right. Like, if a set has lots of Planeswalkers, say War of the Spark, then there has to be a lot of Planeswalker help and Planeswalker hate. That's what I'm saying. If a set has lots of enchantments, say, what set has lots of enchantments? And there's going to be enchantment help and enchantment hate as well. Oh yeah. Shatterstorm is 2 and 2 red. Sorcery, destroy all artifacts. They can't be regenerated. Yeah, that's right. Artifact board wipe. So good. Especially with Mikos and Flatus in play. And you just smash everything from the board. Even lands. And they can't even be regenerated. And much better if you also use Darksteel Forge and you still have stuff. But yeah, without doubt, Shatterstorm is OP. But there's more cards, more powerful cards. After that we got Power Artifact. This has lots of infinite combos, like with Grim or Basalt Monolith. That it can combo with Grim Monolith or Basalt Monolith. Like, so 2 blue, enchant artifact. Activated abilities of enchanted artifact are reduced by 2, but can't be reduced below 1 mana. Yeah, that's right. Like, yeah, it's so good. Like, you can, if you use it with Basalt Monolith, like, or Grim Monolith, you can actually get infinite mana, because with Grim Monolith you can just pay tap to add 3 mana, then you can pay 2 mana to untap it, or 1 mana to untap it, depending on what you enchant with Power Artifact. But it's mostly advisable on Grim Monolith, because you can cast Grim Monolith on turn 2 and combo on turn 3. Easy combo, quick combo, very easy. Mono blue. There you go. And Commander Legal. Well, at least in 2016. Actually, early 2016, because that was when I did a Commander tournament in Liverpool. Not the one in not in Just Play, but it was in a different store. Like, I remember doing 2 Commander tournaments in Liverpool. Wow, just remembered recently. I played against this card in a Memnarch deck. Yeah, Memnarch. It was annoying. Next one we got Triskelion. Triskelion, yeah, it's a very good card. It's like 6 mana, artifact creature, 1/1. Enter battlefield 3+1/+1 counters. It has remove a +1/+1 counter, deal 1 damage to any target. And guess what? It does an infinite combo with Michaelius, the Unhallowed. Yeah, it's actually very good. So 3 and 3 black, 5/5 zombie cleric with intimidate, and whenever a human deals damage to you, destroy it. Other non-human creatures you control get +1/+1 and have undying. So the infinite combo works like that. Like, I had the exact same version of the Michaelius I just put on the podcast. Like, yeah, the Bot Stopper Ultimate Masters. I opened the Bot Stopper, I got it, and I sold it. Yeah. So how the combo works? Like, Triskelion, say, it's a 2/2 3+1/+1 counter. So it's a 5/5. You remove 1 counter, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Remove 2 counters to deal 2 damage to Triskelion. It has no +1/+1 counters on it, so it returns to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. It has 4 +1/+1 counters. Yeah, that's right. Remove 2 +1/+1 counters, deal 2 damage to your opponent. Remove 2 +1/+1 counters, deal 2 damage to Triskelion. It's back. You do this infinite amount of times until then your opponents are all wiped out. But if somehow an opponent resists and say they cast Teferi's Protection, you anyway have if you have one, you have an infinite crackdown construct. Just saying, like crackdown construct, it can do an infinite combo very easily. Like, even infinite combos with Basalt Monolith, actually. But yeah. After that, we got Energy Flux. That's another artifact hate in the set. It's a 2 and 1 blue enchantment. All artifacts have, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you pay 2 mana. So basically you have an upkeep cost of 2 mana. Yeah. Cumulative upkeep and upkeep cost is not the same thing. Like, cumulative upkeep, it just goes accumulating over time until in the end you might not be able to pay the cost, so you sacrifice it instead. But yeah, Energy Flux can actually wipe out like affinity decks. Well, yeah, like it wipes out artifact decks very easily. I like how it said discarded before. For sacrifice effects, it just discards the artifact. So funny. Yeah. Next one we got Strip Mine. Strip Mine is actually a land with tap, add 1 mana, or and tap, sacrifice, destroy target land. Strip Mine is actually the original, stronger and cheaper version of Wasteland. Yeah, like Wasteland was actually more expensive in money, and also it could only destroy target non-basic land. Like, the thing is that if you want to buy one of the 2 for Commander, then buy Strip Mine. Like, Strip Mine is more worth it and actually more powerful as well. But if you're gonna play Legacy, you have to get Wasteland, because you know why? Strip Mine is banned in Legacy and restricted in Vintage. Yep, that's right. So you just need only 1 of the card. like having a playset is not very useful. You only need one, because since it's restricted, you can only use one in the deck in Vintage, and in Commander you can only use one card in your deck, or one card per name, like in the deck. So Strip Mine is just one. Yeah, it's actually very cool. But next one we got Mistress Workshop. Mistress Workshop is actually a land. It's one of the few lands that can actually tap for free mana. Like, it taps for free mana, but it can only be spent to cast artefact cast artefact. You can't even activate abilities of artifacts with this mana. Like, what is this? Like, why? Like, later on, there's actually a Christmas promo, which was a reference to Mistress Workshop, which was Mistress Toy Workshop. You can tap for free mana, but you can only spend this mana only on spells and abilities that put tokens onto battlefield. But you have to use toys to represent those tokens. Well, unless if it's a Thopter Pie network, I guess, in which you have to use food to actually represent the tokens. So how do you make toy food? I don't know. Not even McDonald's has toy food. There's food that comes with which is a Happy Meal, which comes with a toy. But there's no such thing as toy food. As far as I know. Like Mistress Toy Workshop and Thopter Pie Network? How does these two interact with each other? I don't know. But it's just two hilarious Christmas promos, which are silver bordered. But yeah, like at least, like, as far as I know, there's like 4 lands that can tap for free mana in a way. Also, there's Lotus Veil, which is also one of those lands that can tap for free mana. Like, when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice 2 lands, 2 untapped lands, and if you can't, sacrifice Lotus Veil. And tap, add free mana of any one color to your mana pool. Like, I just realized, like Lotus Veil, the thing is that it has been errated, like, so that it doesn't become a Black Lotus in a way, like, now it says as it enters battlefield, not when it enters battlefield, because since it doesn't enter tapped, then as soon as it enters, you can tap to add free mana of any one color to your mana pool, and sacrifice it, as a response to its ETB. Yeah, but it's not really recommended. Like, you later on in the match have a mana disadvantage, unless if you somehow ramp into more mana, and then you might have a mana advantage. But yeah, those are just 3 of them. Now, next card, the number 2 is UrzaTron. Yep, UrzaTron. Like, well, the best of the 3 is Urza's Tower. Like, well, yeah, Urza's Tower is like the one that can tap for free mana. The rest can just tap for 2 mana. That's the 4th land that can tap for free mana. Like, in the set, they were all commons, except for Urza's Tower, which was uncommon. Like, getting Urza's Mine and Urza's Power Plant wasn't really a big problem in a set of 85 cards. Yeah, 85 cards! That was the amount of cards Antiquities had. Like, the early expansions didn't even have much cards. The core sets had, like, way too many. Like, they had 300 and something alpha. And yeah. And the thing is that even, like, a few cards in alpha weren't printed there due to Nether, and there you were printed in beta instead. And Unlimited now is basically alpha and beta combined together. And yeah, so yeah, basically how they work is you can tap to add 1 mana, but if you have Urza's Mine, Urza's Tower, and Urza's Power Plant, instead they tap for 2 mana or tap for 3 mana if it's an Urza's Tower. Well, yeah, it's called UrzaTron because, or simply shortened to Tron, because it just basically references Voltron in a way, don't you think? I don't know, but yeah. There's also different art variants in the same set, like Mistress Factory. So yeah, Ursa's Mine, it looks like a tower, don't you think? Ursa's Power Plant, yeah, it looks cool. Like there's lots of power plants, and which, yeah, there's lots of power plants there, and Ursa's Tower, which is just a tower in an autumn forest, I think. Next one is, yeah, basically an Urza's Miner, actually. It's not even a mine. Oh yeah, it's in the mine, but actually it's a miner in the mine, not the mine itself, but a miner. Well, Urza's Tower, yeah, that's just a tower in the field, which is cool. And Urza's Power Plant is actually a beetle powering there, like you know, like those orange batteries or something. I think it was, but well, instead it's just using a beetle instead of an orange, just to make it look cooler in a way. Yeah, there's 4 art variants for the UrzaTron and Mistress Factory. So there's this one, yeah, and this one. So yeah, we got Ursa's Mine, which is just an entrance to the mine, but vertical, not horizontal. Ursa's Power Plant there looks more like a furnace, and Urza's Tower is basically a tower in the plains. Not sure if there's even basic lands in the set. Yeah. After that we got, yeah, that. So yeah, Ursa's Mine is another cool entrance to the mine, but with a face, and there's actually a goblin entering the mine. I think so. Urza's Power Plant there also looks like a furnace again, and Ursa's Tower is basically a tower in the mountains, which looks very cool actually. That's actually all of the arts for the UrzaTron, but that's not the best card in the set. The real best card in the set is Candelabra of Tonus. It used to be way much better, but Wizards decided to nerf it, I guess. It's a 1 mana artifact. Yeah, well, what I used to say is that for each mana, you can untap X different lands, like S lands you did not spend the mana on. But there was easy, you can easily get lands that tap for, well, not really back then. UrzaTron was basically, the easiest way to get more than 1 mana from a land. Mistress Workshop, well, you could, but it can only be spent to cast artifacts, not to activate abilities of artifacts, which is a bad thing. But yeah, Mistress Workshop is still OP because, yeah, it's basically, well, it was restricted in Vintage, but yeah, it got unrestricted and unbanned in Commander. Well, I think it was unbanned in Commander. I think it was banned in Commander, but not anymore. But yeah. But now what it says is basically X mana tap, untap X lands. But yeah, it's still a good land card, because if you have lots of, Magus of the Candelabra was actually a reference to Candelabra of Tonus, yeah, which was in Time Spiral, yeah, and basically, you just get easy mana. If you have any land that taps for multiple mana, then you can actually use that mana to untap your other lands, and you still have mana floating. Then use tap again, and you have lots of mana. Or you can even help out your teammates in the match. Like if you're playing two-head giant or emperor or actually or even any team mode. Like that's basically battle bond. You can actually just untap your teammates' land so they get extra mana on this turn, like double their mana. Like that's why Magus of Candelabra was reprinted in battle bond. Yeah, that's why. And yeah, that's the best cards in the set. There was actually an error in the set, like Reconstruction, which was basically the blue artifact version of Raised Dead. Actually, then they never had a set symbol. Like it was in Antiquities, and it didn't even have a set symbol. If you actually check it out on Gather, then it got revised and it still didn't get the set symbol. And when it got reprinted in Masters Edition, it didn't have a set symbol. Yeah. Well, because Masters Edition cards use set symbols of the originally printed card. But Masters Edition was the first 4 Master sets, and they were gold bordered. Like, they weren't even playable. Like, if you had the card, it wasn't playable. Like, it was like the World Championship decks. Like MTG originally had World Championship decks. Like in Pokemon TCG, there was World Championship decks, which they still do in Pokemon TCG. And yeah, in MTG they have them, and they just don't do it anymore for some apparent reason. Because I feel like people don't like those cards, those gold bordered cards in MTG. Like it doesn't feel right, but yeah. This is the only error in the set, actually. But yeah, I forgot to mention in Arabian Nights, there's actually a card that hates on the whole set. And in Antiquities, there's also another card that hates on the whole set. And yeah, in the early expansions, well, there were actually, like, 3 cards that hated on the same set. Like, we got City in a Bottle, which hated on Arabian Nights, basically. Like, yeah, it's a 2-mana artifact, however, non-token permanent, originally printed in the Arabian Nights expansion, other than City in a Bottle, like non-token, like, say, what if Rook Egg would die? Well, the token is still on the battlefield. Yeah, City in the Bottle doesn't ruin tokens. Like go ahead. It destroys. It can actually, you play City in a Bottle, and then all of the Rook eggs crack, and they become 4/4 birds with flying. Congratulations! You have successfully created lots of Rook egg tokens. Like whenever non-token permanent, yeah. Like if it was already on the battlefield, or if it was somehow entered battlefield in any other way, then it gets sacrificed. Whoa, 7 viewers on YouTube. Wow. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to earn free MTG Arena codes, then like and subscribe to my channel. Like the per-release codes we got for Ravnica Legends drafts, War of the Spark drafts, and Guilds of Ravnica seals. Like, we still have lots of them. And if you want to check out some different promo codes in the description, then yeah, you can actually earn special cards or boosters on MTG Arena. And if you play on F&M, you can actually get free boosters on MTG Arena. And yeah, players can pay cards originally printed in the Arabian Nights expansion. Yeah. It's actually a very good card. Next one we got Golgothian Silence. It's a 4 mana artifact and has 1 mana tap. All cards from the Antiquities expansion are sacrificed by its controller. So there are ways that you can repeat the Golgothian Silence effect to actually stop UrzaTrons. Yeah, you can actually animate artifact, so it turns into a creature. Then you just equip Assault Suit to it. Yeah, Assault Suit, and then you can just repeat the effect because you just can't sacrifice Golgothian Silence. Yeah, that is actually a smart idea. Yeah. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for subscribing, LMPR Games. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. That's actually... And then in Homelands, there's actually another inset hate, which was Apocalypse Chime. It's a 2 mana artifact. It has 2 mana tap. Sacrifice Apocalypse Chime to destroy all cards with a name originally printed in the Homelands expansion. Yeah. Say for example, questing Fleetwood Griff. Yeah. Would actually be destroyed by Apocalypse Chime. And but it has to sacrifice itself. Like, sacrifice is part of the cost. Like, you can't just stop itself from sacrifice it with Golgothian Silence, since it's not a cost. The sacrificing Golgothian Silence, but yeah. And then in Unhinged, they did a reference to those cards, which was World Bottling Kit. Yeah, that was actually a funny one. It's a 5 mana artifact with 5 mana, sacrifice World Bottling Kit. Choose a magic set. Exile all permanents with that set symbol, except for basic lands. So good. It's so funny. And yeah, the favorite set is your ad here. If I could just somehow put an ad of my channel on the card, it would be cool. Don't you think? Yeah. And that's when we got. Now it's time for the Gideon's Spellbook Snake Peek. Yeah, that was actually part of the podcast. We will actually see the spoilers, the 8 cards in the Gideon Spellbook. Yep, they're out already, the spoilers. So we start with Gideon Jura, which is a 3 and 2 white 6 loyalty legendary planeswalker Gideon with +2. During entire opponent's next turn, creatures that player control attacks Gideon Jura if able. So yeah, it can actually protect you, but he's gonna have to die if you do the +2. -2, destroy target tapped creature. Ooh, take vengeance on a stick. The original one, actually. I think Take Vengeance wasn't a reprint. And yeah. 0 is until end of turn, he becomes a sit. Human soldier creature that still planeswalker. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to him this turn. Well, yeah, he doesn't have indestructible, but it prevents all damage. It would be unlucky if someone would just Martyr's Bond. It's 4 and 2 white enchantment. Whenever Martyr's Bond or another non-land permanent you control is put into a graveyard from battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a permanent that shares a card type of it. Oh wow, that's actually what was it again? Dictate of Erebos times 1000. Just a joke, yeah. Because it's not just creatures, it's actually every non-land permanent, and your opponents have to sacrifice of that same type. So yeah, sack artifacts, they have to sack artifacts. Enchantments, include Martyr Bond. Creatures. Planeswalkers. Yeah, planeswalkers. Like now in War of the Spark, there's like lots of many planeswalkers, and of course many commander decks will be using planeswalkers, and yours as well. So if they just go for your planeswalkers, and they'll have to lose their planeswalkers as well. Martyr Bond. I never actually knew it existed in the first place. Yeah. Like, since Jace's Spellbook came out, Wizards decided to replace all from the vaults with spellbooks. And I expected Liliana's spellbook to come next, but it's actually Gideon's spellbook. That's when we got Path to Exile. Yeah, Path to Exile is actually getting reprinted. Yep, that's right. Now you can pick up a Path to Exile very easily. And if you're lucky, you can get foil Path to Exile as well. It's getting a regular one. So you just buy a Gideon spellbook, you can get 1, if you're lucky, 2 Path to Exiles in there. It's a 1 white instant. It's Altar creature, its controller ramps. Yeah, it's such a good removal. Too bad Swords to Plowshares isn't getting reprinted in this spellbook. But yeah, that's one we got. Rest in Peace. Yeah, that's actually Gideon's. Yeah, like Gideon just says, I will keep watch. Simply that, nothing else from the oath, just simply I will keep watch. It's 1 white enchantment. When to the battlefield, it's out all cards from all graveyards, and the card or token would be put into graveyard from anywhere. It's added instead. So yeah, it ruins die effects, and yeah, like, and graveyard and it's a great graveyard hate card, like completely graveyard hate. Like, you play this against Dredge, unless if they have enchantment removal, they just snoop and just move on to the next match. Or if that was just the final match, then they just have to somehow win without the graveyard, which is a hard thing even for Storm decks. Archetype Phoenix decks also, but there are ways to win without the graveyard. But yeah, it's actually incredibly hard in Dread. After that we got Shielded by Faith. It's a 1 and 2 white enchantment or enchant creature and has indestructible. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you may attach Shielded by Faith to that creature, not just your own. Even if you're playing a team game, you can actually put in your teammates' creatures as well, not just your own. Yeah, it's actually good. Such a good card, because you can pass the indestructibility to better creatures. Yeah, next one we got True Conviction. It's a 3 and 3 white enchantment. Creatures you control have double strike and lifelink. Yeah, it's such a good card. You get to deal double damage and you gain life for it. So easy, so good, so powerful. And there you go. It's such a good card. Yeah. Next one we got Worship, which is a 3 and 1 white enchantment. If you control creature, damage that will reduce your life total to less than 1, reduces it to 1 instead. Well, yeah. Gideon still worships Oketra. Yeah. It looks so cool, the art. Well, Oketra is actually just a god eternal, but somehow Liliana convinces them to rebel against Nicol Bolas somehow. The story and the final spellbook card is Blackblade Reforged. Yep, that's coming. Yeah, it's a 2 2 mana legendary artifact equipment. Equip creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control. Equip legendary creature for 3 mana, or equip for 7 mana. Yeah, that's right. The easy equip on legendary creatures, otherwise it's just super hard. But yeah, still a great card. Weapon of Evil? Wait, yeah. Redeemed in Gideon's hand. Yeah. It was originally Dakon Blackblade's sword, because yeah, it was called Blackblade, and was actually Dakon Blackblade was actually one of the original Planeswalkers, but then it was actually Korlash hired to Blackblade, and then Gideon takes the Blackblade, and will use it to slay Nicol Bolas, and somehow Rakdos just revives himself to help Gideon along the way. But yeah, that's the end of the podcast. So yeah, type in the live chat, stream chat, top chat, or in the comments which one of these cards did you like the most. Yeah, including the sneak peek cards. Yeah, or the error cards as well. Yeah, and which art was your favorite for Mistress Factory and for the Ursa Tron? What was your favorite art though? Yeah, and tomorrow the channel logo will be changed back to normal, because it's gonna be the end of April, because tomorrow it's gonna be the start of May. Well, in some locations it's already May, but yeah. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, next podcast will be all Mythic Edition Planeswalkers from worst to best. Yep, that's right. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, follow my Twitch, follow, share with your friends, and stay tuned to my next videos, streams, and podcasts. Like that one, and the podcasts will be live on Tuesday every day, so stay tuned to them. And watch my other videos too. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and bye.
Creature. Beautiful.